I might be a little bit on the chubby side. My chubby man titties. I get my trans surgery on. Blows my mind. Y'all. That's corrected. Ooh. Um, Tonight, the Republicans are going to debate why they should be president. You had a president, in my humble opinion, that was a populist and that understood what was going on in Wall Street and yada, yada, yada. However, there's a lot that says that maybe he was part of the inside because the last president was heavily invested in Johnson and Johnson and Pfizer. Pfizer brings you the nightly news. They want you jabbed up. They want you sick. And this, I'm a nurse, and I've studied this for years. Um, what medicine is, I went to prison for marijuana. Well, actually, I went to prison for cocaine, but I saw a lot of guys there for marijuana. And understand this: Coca-Cola had coca in it. Cocaine, caffeine has caffeine. Alcohol has alcohol. I mean, it's all. It's a big market. It's a big racket. We have the best so-called democracy that money can buy. Now, what is money? And how do they run that through the system? And what's a corporation? And, there were corporations, the East Indian Corporation and whatnot, that helped found the 13 original colonies. It gets deep. But watching the pandemic and seeing the rollout of the new shots and what the mRNA technology, hey, if you want to do that, you go it, not me. And any mandates, dude, I'm here to serve humanity as a nurse. I took an oath. I understand the Nuremberg codes. I understand about informed consent. I understand about natural medicine. I understand about being healthy. Before I was a nurse, I actually worked as a personal trainer. And I've said this to a lot of people that, in my humble opinion, I think you can get more out of a personal trainer and a good nutritionist than you ever could out of a Western trained pill doctor. We got pills for everything. My sister's a nurse. She'd rather clean toilets than go back to bedside at this point. What does that tell you? She went to St. Cecilia here in Nashville. And at one point, the Daughters of Charity ran the hospital, St. Thomas. And it got bought out, and it's run on that HCA model. And unfortunately, people are more greedy than they are well read when it comes to these things. And that's what's upsetting to me, because I did go to prison for a controlled substance, and they controlled ivermectin, which the studies show works. Empirically, it works. I've got friends that took it with a diagnosis of COVID-19, turned around in 24 hours. My own father has COVID-19, supposedly. And I went down to Mississippi this week and couldn't visit with him because he was quarantining and, he was sick as a dog and yada, yada, yada. I found out through my son that he had actually taken one of these shots. This messenger mRNA, but it's modified mRNA. It's a technology, whatever. Me personally, my body is my temple. I think the church has taught that. The church has also taught that the love of money is the root of all evil. I guess that's your definition of evil, but chopping up kids and giving them hormones and whatnot, not allowing them to become who God created them to me, is quite evil. ripping babies out of women and chopping them up and sacrificing babies and it's evil, in my humble opinion. You may differ, but in my humble opinion, it is, and you know it is deep down. Where we go from here is beyond me. I just sent this out to everybody, and hopefully this gets published. Let me check this. I can stop at any time. Thanks. Thank you, Allah, God, Yahweh, Jehovah, that which is the Alpha, the Omega, the forever shall be, which is my prayer every morning. Western civilization has been bought off by the Federal Reserve System, which has married with the oligarchs of Europe. And we have our own set of oligarchs here. And it's a pyramid of oligarchs, because all these oligarchs do is just from the bonds to the investments to the stock. It's a pyramid scheme. And if you're not playing with the pyramid, well, then you really are like a basic farmer. You have God, you have gold, you have guns, you have title, you have deed, and you have freedom, like the Amish. Or I go back to the Amish in America. I think that's a fun example of living within God's creation and His commandments and whatnot. And that's my humble opinion. You're going to watch tonight, and I got a mad crush on Katie Halper. She's a Jewish girl on the Upper West Side. But she, like me, like Gilad Esmon, my friend from Israel who lives in London, has empathy towards the Palestinians. And empathy towards humanity and people. You know, as a nurse, I've taken care of every walk of life. Every walk of life. And it matters not. We all bleed red. All of our shit stinks. And our bodies decompose into stinky, whatever you want to call that, bones. And the philosophy, the religion, whatever that runs around them, you ultimately are going to die. We all are going to die. And we have to decide, well, whether our temporal right here is what it's all about. Our hedonistic, titties, sex, blah, blah, blah. If that's reality or something bigger than we. In my humble opinion, I think there's something bigger than all of us. And I pray to that every day. It's a power that gives life on earth. And I've seen it. I've seen babies born. I've seen people die. I've seen people shot, mutilated in car accidents. I've never witnessed in my practice mutilating kids for Frankenstein's whatever. But this has got to stop. For our children. It's not what matters. It matters not what you take from this world. It matters most what you leave behind. The physical world is just that. It's a physical world of man titties and lust and greed and debauchery and drunkenness. Forgive me, I'm having a beer. But Big Pharma is way out of line. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. The TV, however, my grandfather's called the television the boob tube and the idiot box. And that was when there were 3 channels. and a PBS. But all three channels went off with the Star Spangled Banner at night and Fuzz. I had a friend, good friend of mine, died in a car accident. He used to go to sleep after that with the Fuzz on the TV. And that's where we are. We're going to have to decide where we leave our children. I'm going to wrap up with this because I believe in America. I believe in humanity. I believe in the founding fathers, and I understand that America was settled by yeoman farmers, philosophers, and artisans. And some of that philosophy and art that they created was the silver dollar. Silver dollar, the early Americans, 13 original colonies, got from this Spanish dollar. Well, you say, what's a dollar? A dollar is 1/20 ounce of silver. And that is the official definition of a United States dollar. Until the United States of America returns to that system, the corporations are going to run roughshod through your mind and make you into corporate zombies, which they've done. And everybody comes home and watches the television and is brought to you by, and I got to get that. I got to keep up with the Joneses, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to keep up with the Smiths or the Bernsteins or Shaky Goldstein. You know? They run right under your noses. How many $1 trillion in debt? That we as Americans are supposedly indebted to. If you got your deed and you got your title and you got your guns and your goats and your wife and your kids, what else do you need other than Klaus Schwab coming in and saying, you will own nothing and be happy? Well, that's corporatism. Fascism. 101. It blows me away, y'all. So here we go through another election cycle. I'm going to speak up for Trump because I see the system for what it is. And Dr. McCow has written a great article, What is Communism? What is communism? Communism is when the central bank controls it all. The central bank. Not your bank. Think about it. You get your little digits on your little check or whatever, and you go put it in the bank. What's in there? I've said this before. Go down today, tomorrow, whenever, this week, if you get some time, and go to the banker and say, listen, I want to go back to the vault, and I want to see my wealth. What am I worth? They say a man is worth his weight in gold. Am I worth that today? Peace.